Hello everybody, good evening. Welcome back to the stream. It's me, DIGI. Tonight is Friday, the 31st of January 2025, and it is hard to believe that we are upon basically the time of New Year, if it hasn't already passed, and also the end of the first month of 2025, which is kind of crazy because this year's going by pretty quick already. And I have a new fascination with Euro Truck Sim 2, or rather, driving in Japan. I've talked about this both on Discord as well as done a stream earlier this week. We're going to do another truck stream tonight in Japan. And because I don't have my own truck yet, we're going to take a quick job, complete with cargo and truck. Now, the deal is, these things look like they make you a lot of yen, but here's the thing. About 55,000 yen, I have about 2 million yen. To get my own truck requires me to have somewhere in the vicinity of 8 to like 15 million yen. So I need to take much bigger jobs. But at the same time, I'm kind of getting used to the trail, so this is kind of good at this point. We'll start out with probably a somewhat medium to long haul route. And I think as I keep taking jobs like this, I'm going to start learning more about the areas in the prefecture. This is a delivery we're doing. This is the truck we're driving. And I am using the Japanese company mod on top of Project Japan. Project Japan does require you have pretty much almost all of the map DLC. I happen to buy all the map DLC at this point, so I'm up to date. And we are taking potatoes. Ooh, this one has an overhead mirror. And where's my map? Okay, I see it. I would have to go around the corner, it looks like. I'll fold that down. Oh man, we're in a greenhouse. Or around greenhouses. That's kind of cool. And I'm going to swing out some more. This is the thing about driving in Project Japan. You have to really maneuver around tight spaces. Look at that. I mean, this isn't very narrow, but you might see even narrower spaces. And we're getting out of here. Ooh, this is a pretty narrow exit. I'm glad I swung wide. This is pretty neat. Only thing is, I would have to imagine this must be a bear to get through when you are in traffic. Goodness sakes. I think I pushed some of those fence posts back. Wow. Well, as they say overseas, Ohio gozaimasu. Konnichiwa, minasan. Namae wa driver DIGI desu. And this is literally like a one-lane road. I sincerely hope I don't have much in the way of traffic. Move this out of the way. There we go, that's better. The road isn't much better, but at least I'm getting up the hill and seeing where I'm going. Let me stop for a moment, just take this in. Wow. This is a pretty curvy landscape. Let's go. So if you're wondering, Project Japan is a map mod for Euro Truck Simulator 2. It requires an extensive amount of map expansions. You virtually have to get them all as of version 1.53, which is what I have of Euro Truck Simulator 2. The actual map mod itself is version 1.1.2 for the latest version of ETS2. And we have Tokyo, and I think Kawasaki, Osaka, and more than a few other regions represented. It was either 2023 or 2024 when I first picked up Project Japan, and back then I think it only had one or two major areas. And then they set up, I think, the Tokyo Bayshore route, and I really wanted to try it, but I didn't have all the map expansions because it required you to have Iberia, and I didn't have Iberia. So I needed to get more stuff, which I didn't have. Ooh, challenge number 1. Gotta be careful. And then I got the other map expansions recently. Yeah, well, what do we have here? We have a flight simulator enthusiast driving a truck in Japan up crazy switchbacks on a one-lane road, pushing tree limbs and rocks aside. Speaking of which, here's some rocks. Let me put it to you this way. It's a challenge. Crazy seems like an understatement. Well, you'll pardon me if I don't concentrate, but at the same time, hello, welcome aboard, my friend. Folks, if you don't know my friend Nathan's Planes, Nathan is a great friend of the channel, a fellow flight sim enthusiast and streamer, and also somebody that's been getting some flight time in simulators and getting some studying done, as I recall. So if you like flight sim content and you'd like someone explaining the intricate details of actual flying procedures with relation to a sim, by all means, go check out my friend Nathan's Planes. Nathan is most definitely DIGI approved. Yeah, so these roads are crazy, and I'm actually having a great time. And by all means, my friend, you're welcome for the shout out. This is why I like Project Japan so much more now. There's so much more challenge, so much more variety that I've seen. I mean, it was okay before when I only had one or two regions to explore, but at the same time, it's literally coming into its own. I may have to wind up donating to their cause just so they get some more support. It's an amazing project. It is an amazing project. Like, I'm thinking to myself, am I ever gonna get back to civilization? Hang in there, Digi, you'll make it. I'm just like, the more I drive Project Japan, seriously, the more impressed I am. Wow, look at this. All right, swing wide and then slow down and angle through. Look at this. This is nuts. Don't mind me, friends. This is kind of crazy. Wow. Tell me this, Chad. When was the last time you drove a really heavy vehicle across a one-lane suspension bridge over a precipice that high? I've never done an IRL. Have you? The sim is enough of a just gut check for me, but it's amazing. Now, I've got some more switchbacks to go through before we get out of here. And no, I do not want to wreck it. You know, I didn't watch too many of the what would you might call like the classic Top Gear episodes or seasons with the original cast, but there was one episode where they had a kind of showdown to say uh, what kinds of trucks everybody would drive, and it was like a airport vehicle showdown, and the truck that won was like the fire engine, which is funny, but cool at the same time. And now we have me crossing a river. Say cheese. Amazing. If I recall correctly, that was a good one. Ah, man. And if you look over there on the top right corner, that's the bridge we just crossed to come down the hill. That's a little trippy. That's kind of nuts. All right, so now we turn left. Excuse me, sir. There we go. Wow, 2 lanes never looked so good. Wow. Now, you figure, I just navigated an incredibly treacherous just series of switchbacks up and down hills. So basically, at this point, the rest of Japan should be a cakewalk, right? Uh, no. We still haven't dealt with the treacherous toll booths yet. But yeah, it's whatchamacallit, it's pretty narrow in spots. The interesting thing about the ratio, I guess the map ratio, I think it's the same limited ratio that you have in typical ETS or ATS maps, but with one big difference. The speed limits are a lot lower. And given the landscape and the kind of driving that you're doing, I would imagine there's pretty good reason for that. And at first, I think the first year that I tried driving this, it bothered me. I was like, I'm so accustomed to driving like, 70, 80, 90 kilometers per hour, 100 kilometers per hour on European roads, and Japan is like just so much slower. I didn't understand it. With these map expansions, now I do. It's a great expansion. The only difficulty that I had was installing it, and the people that own it were very patient with me when I wrote and I said that, hey, I'm having difficulty with this. I can't download it at the moment. And they walked me through the process, and then they explained something to me that I had missed before. And I was able to grab the files, install them, and here I am. I think I've got like something on the order of 8 or 9 deliveries at this point done on quick loads. Of course, the problem is it takes a lot longer to get your hands on a truck than it does in the other sims. But I guess that's the part of it that makes it really worthwhile, because this really makes you work for it. And remember what I said about treacherous toll booths? Look at the mirrors. Look at how much room I have to get by. Alright, I need to be in the other lane. We're gonna take this down to Kanazawa, maybe? I'm telling you, this is like basically ETS2 made like 5 times more challenging. But the more I drive it, the more I enjoy it. Airplane. Nice. That yellow sign said, "Keep your eyes on the road. Planes flying overhead." That was crazy. Ooh, Japanese classic car, there it goes. Whatever that is. All right. So, that was a good race. Oh, right. You're talking about that before. It's a nice night for a cruise. I might do another run after this one's complete. I'm not sure. I'm also trying to wean myself off of my typical Friday night third cup of coffee routine because I found that that third cup of coffee that I was having on weekends started to bleed over into the week. And then when I took that down, I started to get like, the caffeine withdrawal headaches, which suck. But at the same time, I'm happy that I'm on the other side of the readjustment because now I don't feel like as tripped up when I'm coming into the latter stage of the evening. Also, I feel like that's going to help me bridge the gap in terms of, transitioning from like say late nights to early mornings. I'm going to have a slightly altered schedule next week, which means I'm going to be waking up a little bit earlier. So, I mean, I definitely do not need to be knocking back a third cup of coffee on those nights. So, definitely, while I wasn't necessarily timing it, it's definitely a good transition. And on your right, a new Toyota Supra. I don't know. I kind of like it, but I feel like the Supra, I still like the old Supra better. I'm talking about Toyota Supra because that red one in the right lane is the newer version of it. I do feel like Project Japan takes more system requirements from you. I think it loads a lot more in smaller spaces, but the effect driving through cities that look like they've been lived in, that's amazing. I've driven in games like Tokyo Extreme Racer 1 and 2 on the Dreamcast, and Import Junior Challenge, and what am I trying to say? And even the Assetto Corsa mod, Shutoko Revival Project. But I feel like coming through here a little bit more slowly, literally, especially the toll booth. I want to say you pick up on more of the details around you. And I've already seen more than a few interesting details over the course of the past few runs that I've had here. Oh, that's why we pulled off. We're going to go to the Kanazawa seaport. Right. Now, if the boat ride takes as long as I think it is, I think I've only got like another 20 minutes or so before I'm done with this run. I did want to be nice. I did not know if that utility vehicle was going to try to merge into the lane, even if it didn't slow down. So I figured give them room. But seriously, like, all in all, I'm very pleased with the graphics. So many people living in such a constrained, well, small space, really. And they do it to such an extent that it just kind of makes me wonder, wow. All right, I think I'm gonna make a... Oh, no, not here, not here. I don't make a right turn here, I make a right turn up ahead. Wow, that's an old Honda Civic. Dude. I haven't seen cars that old since I saw cars that old. Alright, thank you, utility truck. You just kind of paved the way for me. Right, now, apologies up front if for some reason you guys have been sending me messages and I haven't seen them. I have a couple of windows where I keep track of messages, but I think once upon a time I had my mobile display showing me messages and I was completely ignoring somebody and it didn't show me their messages, which was a bit of a trip. I've noticed that on Twitch there are a lot of truck streamers, and many do Europe and many do the US. A few have done pro mods and mods like, I think, Mexico, but I have not seen anyone in recent memory do Project Japan on Twitch. I think some people on YouTube probably streamed Project Japan, but I haven't seen anybody do it lately, I should say. Yeah, after you. That awkward stop when both of you try to go at the same time and then both try to go at the same time again. That's funny. Lawson Station, Evergreen. Who goes? Okay. Given the utter convenience of this gasoline station, I'm going to stop in and get some petrol right now. My employer is going to pay for it, and I want to make sure that I don't run out of gas before my destination, because that would be kind of hilarious. Yep, fuel expenses covered by my employer. Okay, we are going to...
Brace yourself.
Oh, hello! Peerluck coming in with a raid. Party of 5. Peerluck. Party of 5. Welcome aboard, friends. If you don't know me by some weird happenstance, my name is DIGI Driver. I normally do flight sim and scenery development. On the rare occasion, I also do scenery development, VATSIM flights. But today I am in Project Japan and we are traveling to Osaka by ship. SG, great to see you. Planes, trucks, and automobiles. Yo, pure luck. Good to see you, my friend. We are back out of the boat and on the road again. We've got roughly an hour and 49 minutes of sim time. Probably about 10, 15 minutes. And we are in Project Japan, enjoying some virtual trucking and earning that virtual paper. Hype! But we have been driving. Oh, Peerluck, you missed a great start of the stream. I took a job from the northern, I'd say, area of Japan, the northern midsection, down to Osaka. But the way out of there, I had to go up and down this hill on narrow switchbacks. They were absolutely crazy. They were absolutely crazy. It was just such a trip. It was literally such a trip. I was going up and down one lane. It was a one-lane road. It was literally a one-lane road. Kind of unbelievable, but at the same time, very enjoyable. I was not expecting to have as much fun as I did. And the roads are super narrow here. And you will ding up your truck if you don't watch yourself. But it's just kind of revitalized my interest in virtual trucking. It's such an experience. The only thing that isn't as enjoyable about this, like I mentioned before, is the bar of entry. But if you follow the instructions carefully on the ETS Project Japan site, and you take a look at my Discord, you should most likely be fine. Sleep well, my friend. Have a great rest of your evening. Thank you so much for the raid. Appreciate it. Love to you and your family, my friend. God bless you. Alright, I've got to turn right here. Turning right in Japan is like turning left in the States. You gotta mind your P's and Q's. Oh, we're gonna get on the highway? Oh, dope. Alright, I think this is the on-ramp. I see it. It's seriously kind of twisty around here. ETC cardo desu. Oopsies. Told you. You gotta watch out for all the like nooks and crannies when going through these toll booths. Man. It's okay. Like, the sim scoring is somewhat generous. So if you get borked a little bit, that's fine. But they will fine you if you show up with a, sincerely damaged truck, doesn't reflect well. Wow. It is kind of dark. Actually, it's dark. Wow. So again, if you are interested in trying out Project Japan, you should be able to do a search for it, find it online. There is one and only one official site. There are plenty, apparently, other places where you can actually, let's just say, obtain it. Don't. Follow the instructions on the official site and download it the way they instruct you. Download it the way they instruct you, and also take a look at my Discord for some additional follow-up instructions so you don't make the same mistakes I made.
I'm doing good.
Hey, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. I'm going to bork the name up, so I'm just going to read that out. It's spelled SJGWYN. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. I have been doing an increasing number of virtual trucking streams, and I like being in Project Japan. SJ, okay. SJ works for me. Welcome aboard, SJ. Happy to have you. I do flights in Flight Simulator. I also do scenery design for Microsoft Flight Simulator, and sometimes, every once in a while, I will go on VATSIM and do a flight. Looks like the camera caught me speeding. That's a cool, like, 17,000 yen offense. Oofty. Okay, so we are off the highway now, and I think we've got like another 10 minutes or so to go. But yeah, I have been playing around with Project Japan and seriously getting to enjoy it now. A year or two ago I tried it and there weren't as many regions available for driving, but now I think I have grown to really appreciate it. So while I don't tend to have a set schedule, I've been trying to be consistent during the week. I used to only stream once a week on the weekends, but I am trying to get better and trying to be more regular with regards to streaming content. I've also been juggling some things. I do work IRL as a software developer and take care of my family. And I am trying to also see if I can launch a business as well. So those things take time, and time means that you make decisions about what you're going to do and what you're not going to do. That's okay, though. The challenges of life make the success worth it. It may not always feel the best when you're in the middle of something you're trying to get done, but it's the finish is only more sweet when you actually make it happen. And I thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for that. Looks like we are getting roundabout close to where we need to be to deliver our cargo. But it does seem like it's taking longer than normal. I mean, what? Like, the speed limit around here is like 25 miles an hour? So, I get it. A lot of people in a tiny space. It's amazing. The map size is compressed, but what they've managed to accomplish over the past few years, in my opinion, is just like a master stroke. I really am impressed. I want to say that we're going to take another boat, but I don't think we are. I think we're going to hop on another expressway. I think that's what's going to happen. I think I just need to stay in my lane because the left lane turns left, the right lane splits, and now I think if I stay left, it's going to eventually peel off into the on-ramp. Yeah, I think we go here. There are a pretty good chunk of roads to drive here. It's kind of crazy. Driving at night in Japan only seems to make the experience better. At least in densely populated areas where like you have highways on top of highways. Okay, I gotta be careful. I do not want to ding this truck up more than I already have. And some of my lurkers might be watching me drive and go, he's going too slow through the toll booths. You'd be surprised. I used to rip through the toll booths in like ATS and in Euro Truck Sim, but you need to be careful in Japan. I already clipped the one curb on the way into to Kobe, so you do want to be careful. Again, thanks to everybody that's hanging out with me tonight. If you are a lurker or you just like to watch quietly, really appreciate you. I do appreciate my lurkers. You guys bring up the channel algorithm. So thank you so much for being a part of tonight's stream. Thank you, of course, to my great friend Pure Luck, who is a great friend of the channel and somebody that I like to watch as well, doing flight sim streams. Who is usually on most nights during the week, quite often. And for the follow from SJ. We're not that much further away from our destination. This is kind of crazy. I think we go left. Yes. Well, for one, we have to. Can't stay on a highway forever. Eventually, you do have to exit. While you can theoretically sleep on the road, it's usually a lot more comfy to do so in bed. And yes, I am aware that some trucks have sleeper configurations. Okay, over to the right to avoid hitting the curb. There we go. Hang a left here, and we are almost done with the first run. Given how long this is taking, I might I might just be happy with this one for tonight. Because, believe it or not, this run has kind of made me hungry for ramen. It sounds silly, I know, but it's also funny at the same time. It's pretty dark out. About 10:38 sim time and about 6 minutes of virtual time to get to our destination. Oh, gotta go this way. I gotta slow down too. I don't want to get another ticket. It's like, that's like my third ticket in the past like 3 or 4 deliveries. They're gonna start calling me a flatfoot. Crazy. 7-Eleven. That's the thing, man. Overseas, 7-Elevens are like fantastic. Fantastic as in they have just this, I don't know, more powered up variety of fare. But then again, I'm happy to be living in the States as well. We have our advantages, you know? Just made the light. And it looks like we are reaching our destination, which is going to be on the left side of the vehicle. How I get there, I don't know. Looks like I can swing in, which is exactly what I intend to do. All right, almost done. They need the truck backed up there. I can also put it in straight that way, which is exactly what I'm going to do for a little XP boost, as long as I can actually manage the delivery. Gotta watch out for that light pole. There we go. That was a pretty trippy drive. And there you have it, folks. Let's go ahead and park the trailer. There we go. We are level 3 now. Actually, excuse me, we're level 2. But level 3 is the next level up. And we've got roughly 424,000 yen. So I can add another skill point, and I'm going to go with more eco driving. Once I max this out, I'm probably going to start going for long distance bonuses, then high value cargo, and then maybe, actually, I don't think they have that as an option. Oh, they do. I just chose eco driving. I get it. That's good. Let me save my game. And that's fun. So I've got 2.4 million yen. Can I buy anything with that? I'm gonna say no. Wow. Also, I might need to download some area manufacturers for driving trucks in Japan, because I think this is mostly the ETS set. That might, I don't know, maybe that'll bring prices down for me. But I wouldn't mind driving this truck eventually. I've driven a Volvo cabover trailer for many years in ETS2. So let's see. What time is it right now? It's 54 minutes into the stream. It's about 11:20. You know what? I think I am going to go ahead and call it based on this. I had fun driving it. I mean, we spent a good 45 minutes coming down from those hills down to the port and driving through Kobe. So actually, I think I am going to go ahead and call it here. But let me think. Schedule for next week is going to be a little bit different because of some IRL things I have to accomplish. I might not stream early in the week like I did before, or no, exactly. I think I might stream later in the week because of the early mornings that I have at the beginning. T. Miller, I do not have a steering wheel. I drive with a gamepad. I debated buying a steering wheel a couple of weeks ago, but at the same time, steering wheels are like, VR goggles are like complicated flight sim setups. I think if I got a steering wheel, it would be fantastic. If I had like gas and brake pedals, it'd be great. But I think I'd be afraid of getting used to it too quickly and then being like, oh, I paid like $300 for this, and it's kind of not transforming the way I sim. I don't think that's the case. I think if I got a steering wheel and gas and brake pedals, I would enjoy driving so much more that I would probably stop flight simming for a while. And they do take up a lot of space. So in one sense, it's kind of like a commitment. You know, like if you take out the steering wheel and gas and brake pedals, well, you're probably not going to be doing any flight simming that night. And I mean, if I had, for example, a Boeing captain's pack where I had like a yoke and, rudder pedals and stuff like that, I probably wouldn't be flying a helicopter that night unless I have a very easy way to set them up and tear them down. Which is not to say that the idea of owning them is horrible. No, like I said, I almost bought a force feedback steering wheel and gas brake pedals not that long ago. The idea would have been amazing and kind of hilarious. But at the same time, I've driven with a gamepad now for so long. Like, other than learning or relearning the control swings for certain, vehicles, I kind of like just being able to plug in the gamepad and go from place to place really quickly, really easily, with the bare essentials right at my fingertips. Would it be even cooler to drive with a steering wheel and gas brake pedals? Absolutely, it would. Um, my good friend Pixel Penguin introduced me to Moza and to their trucker steering wheel. Oh my goodness! I've never been more tempted to want to figure out how to get my hands on like the $600 or something like that required to buy the wheel and the pedals. It looks amazing. It's got like a turning a stick that you can use to, like, I guess turn right or left, kind of like, the real deal. But that's a future me problem. I think for right now, I'm gonna enjoy driving the gamepad as much as possible until I get my next burst of disposable spend. And who knows? By the end of this year, I might actually have the funds to get a steering wheel and gas and brake pedals. Will I be designing roads for ETS2 or ATS? Most likely not. I think that's like another level higher of design know-how, and I'm slow enough designing airport scenery. But I have to admit, I am piqued or intrigued somewhat by the idea of that. I guess I'd have to, number one, give it a shot, and number two, determine whether or not I had that much interest in building out roads. I might, but I mean, the people that created Project Japan do such a great job of building it out that there's no need for me to jump in and say, no, 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 I need to build a highway here. I mean, theoretically you can, but we're talking about building things on a different scale than what you'd be used to in real life. So I'd have to figure out how to compress a map down to a small enough size for me to render faithfully. So I'll leave that to the experts for now, at least. Do I like the idea of a steering wheel and gas and brake pedals? Maybe this year, maybe next year. But I gotta say, I am enjoying it, gamepad and all, right now. And I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what else to come up with in the year ahead. Because, like I said, we're only putting the ribbon on January. We still got 11 more months to rip through. So we'll see you guys. I am gonna call it. I don't know of very many of my other friends that are actually doing Euro Truck Sim at the moment, or Project Japan for that matter. So let me check and see if any of my other friends are doing the deal in terms of ETS. So let me see. Somebody I follow is doing American Truck Simulator. But you know what? Let me go ahead and do a raid and run on Silent Scotty because I think I've never raided Silent Scotty before, and I can kind of pass on the word about Project Japan. So let me do that. Folks, really appreciate having you aboard for tonight's run. Hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. And like I always like to say at the end of every stream, if you want true peace, you want the Prince of Peace, and that's Jesus Christ. Take care, folks. Have a great rest of your night. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will catch you on the next stream or somewhere around the Twitchverse. Take care. Have a great night.